This is the story of a young man born in poverty, clever, proud, and determined to break free from the chains of class with his intellect. He fell in love with those he should not have loved, and chased dreams he should never have pursued. In the end, his ambition and his passion led him step by step toward destruction.
In the early 19th century, after Napoleon's defeat, France entered the Bourbon Restoration. The aristocracy returned, the church regained its power, and society became a rigid hierarchy once more. The red stood for the soldier's uniform, the glory, the passion, the burning ambition of Napoleon's era. The black stood for the priest's robe, the cold authority, the shadows, the hypocrisy of the church and the crown. For Julien, the young protagonist, these colors were more than symbols of his world. They were the two paths of his life and the battlefield of his soul. Julien Sorel, a poor carpenter's son, brilliant and ambitious. He worships Napoleon, dreams of breaking free from his lowly birth, and stands torn between two destinies, the sword or the cross.
Part 1. The Awakening of Love and Ambition. Julien Sorel, the son of a poor carpenter, is recommended to work as a tutor in the household of Mayor de Renault, a wealthy and respected figure in a provincial French town. At first, Julien sees this position as nothing more than a stepping stone, a chance to enter the world of the rich and powerful, a small step on the long road toward breaking free from his humble origins. But soon, something unexpected happens. He and Madame de Renault, the mayor's elegant and sensitive wife, begin a secret affair. For her, it is a forbidden yet genuine love. For Julien, it is both passion and ambition, proof that he, a young man of low birth, can conquer the barriers of class through charm and intellect. Their fragile romance, however, cannot escape the eyes of society. Rumors spread, whispers grow louder, and when their relationship is finally exposed, scandal threatens to destroy them both. Disgraced and cornered, Julien is forced to abandon the household. His path takes a sharp turn. He enters the seminary, where new struggles, temptations, and inner conflicts await him.
Part 2. Trials in Paris. Julien's time in the seminary quickly strips away any illusions he may have had about the church. What he finds there is not holiness, but hypocrisy, endless political maneuvering, petty rivalries, and empty rituals. Disillusioned and restless, he begins to see religion not as a path of faith, but as yet another cage. His fate changes when he is introduced to the Marquis de la Mole, a powerful Parisian nobleman. The Marquis, impressed by Julien's intelligence, determination, and sharp wit, takes him under his wing and appoints him as his personal secretary. For Julien, this is no small opportunity. It is a direct entrance into the glittering world of Parisian high society, a chance to rise far above his provincial beginnings. With each passing day, his ambition swells. He dreams not only of wealth and respect, but of a place at the very heart of power. Amid this new life, Julien encounters the Marquis's daughter, Mathilde. Proud, restless, and fascinated by danger, she is unlike any woman he has known. Mathilde is captivated by Julien's fiery spirit and bold defiance of social norms. Their relationship begins as a game of seduction and pride, but soon deepens into something much more dangerous, a passionate and scandalous love affair. Against all odds, and despite the differences in their birth and status, Mathilde is willing to defy her family and even contemplate marriage with him. For Julien, this feels like the ultimate triumph, proof that he can conquer the seemingly unshakable walls of class and destiny. But such triumphs are never without consequences.
Part 3. The Fall and the Judgment. Julien's carefully constructed world begins to collapse when his past returns to haunt him. The forbidden affair with Madame de Renal, once buried in secrecy, is suddenly exposed. Tormented by guilt and persuaded by religious duty, Madame de Renal writes a letter denouncing Julien to the Marquis de Lamont. In her letter, she accuses him of being manipulative, ambitious, and deceitful, using love as nothing more than a ladder to climb higher in society. The revelations shatter Julien's prospects, ruining his engagement with Mathilde and destroying his fragile dream of advancement. Blinded by rage and despair, Julien makes a fateful decision. He takes a pistol, returns to Verrières, and confronts Madame de Renal inside a church. In a moment of violent passion, he fires at her. Though she does not die instantly, the act seals his fate. Julien is arrested and brought to trial. The courtroom becomes his final stage. Rather than pleading for mercy, he chooses defiance. He refuses to deny his actions or beg for forgiveness. Instead, he condemns the rigid class system that despises men of low birth like himself, declaring that his true crime is not the attempted murder, but daring to rise above his station. The judges are unmoved. Julien is sentenced to death. In the final days before his execution, a strange calm settles upon him. He reconciles with Madame de Renal, who forgives him completely and continues to love him despite the wound he inflicted. Facing the guillotine, Julien accepts his destiny with dignity. For the first time, ambition and pride fall silent, leaving only the stark reality of mortality. And so ends the tragic journey of a young man who dared to dream beyond his birth, a life consumed by passion, pride, and the impossible struggle against society's chains.
Epilogue: Tragedy and the Silence of Fate. Julien is executed by guillotine. The young man who once dreamed of glory and power meets his end, not as a conqueror of destiny, but as a victim of pride, passion, and the merciless social order of his time. At his side, Mathilde remains unwavering in her devotion. In an almost medieval gesture of romantic loyalty, she guards Julien's body after the execution, honoring him as if he were a fallen knight rather than a condemned criminal. Her defiance against convention, even in death, mirrors Julien's own relentless struggle against the world that denied him. Meanwhile, Madame de Renal, consumed by guilt for betraying the man she once loved and devastated by his violent death, falls into deep despair. Her health declines rapidly, and not long after Julien's execution, she dies, carrying her grief with her to the grave. The story thus closes in tragedy, not only the personal ruin of Julien and the women who loved him, but also as a damning portrait of a society where ambition is punished, passion is condemned, and the chains of class crush even the brightest spirit. Stendhal leaves his readers with a haunting reflection. In an age of restored monarchy and rigid hierarchy, there is little mercy for those who dare to rise above the station into which they were born. At its heart, The Red and the Black is a biting satire of post-Napoleonic Restoration-era France, a society where aristocratic privilege resurges, class barriers harden, and hypocrisy thrives beneath the surface of respectability. The novel lays bare the tension between personal ambition and the demands of love. Julien Sorel, torn between his yearning for power and his genuine human emotions, becomes the embodiment of this conflict. His passion collides with his ambition, and in that collision, both are destroyed. It is also a meditation on the fate of those born into obscurity. Julian, as the son of a carpenter, dares to dream of rising through intelligence, charm, and willpower. Yet his story ends in tragedy, suggesting the cruelty of a system that punishes those who attempt to transcend their station. Ultimately, the novel poses a timeless and unsettling question. Can an ordinary person, armed only with talent and determination, truly alter the course of destiny in a world governed by wealth, birth, and power?
If you liked this video, don't forget to subscribe so you won't miss the next one.